Okay, so good day, everyone. I hope you are well and ready for today's session. Thank you for joining us on time and for your continued commitment to this course. As graduate students in public administration, your presence and participation are important because our discussions are meant to connect theory with the real challenges you encountered in government and public service. No? Today's session marks an important part of your course as we begin our discussion on advanced human resource management in public administration. And this topic sets the foundation for the entire course because how we manage people in government directly affects government or governance outcomes, service delivery, organizational integrity, and public trust. So human resources in the public sector are not merely administrative concern, they are central to how policies are implemented and how citizens experience government. In today's discussion, we will move beyond traditional personnel administration and examine human resource management as a strategic and governance functions. We will look at how public institutions manage people under legal, ethical, and political constraint, and why advanced human resource management is necessary in an environment that demands accountability, transparency, and performance. I always encourage everyone to reflect on your own experiences in public organizations as we go through the discussion. So our session today will be structured in the three parts. No, first, of course, as I mentioned during our first meeting, I will provide a comprehensive discussion of the topic to establish common understanding and theoretical grounding. Second, we will engage in guided discussion and case-based question to apply this concept to real public sector situation. And finally, we reflect on how advanced human resource management principles can be applied in your respective agencies and professional goals. So as we proceed, I encourage active participation. No, please feel free to post your question, insights, or example in a Zoom chat, and we will address them during the discussion segment. Respectful the dialogue must be critical thinking and professional exchange of ideas are expected. As this is a graduate level course now designed to prepare you for leadership roles in public administration. So let us begin today's session with an open mind and a practical perspective, no, recognizing that effective public service starts with how we lead, develop, and support the people who serve the public. And thank you, and let us now proceed with our discussion. As I am responsible for chapter 1, I will now commence the discussion on this chapter. Okay? So, advanced human resource management and public administration represent a shift from traditional personal administration toward a more strategic and governance-oriented function. In public institutions, human resource management directly influences how policies are implemented, how services are delivered, and how public trust is maintained. Let's say, for example, the effectiveness of social welfare programs, public health initiatives, and education reforms depends largely on the competence and motivation of public servants. So public sector human resource management operates within a unique environment shaped by civil service laws, ethical standards, political oversight, and public accountability. Unlike private organizations, government agencies must ensure that human resource decisions uphold merit, equity, and transparency. Institutions such as the Civil Service Commission serve as guardians of these principles, ensuring that human resource practices promote professionalism and neutrality in the bureaucracy. And this introductory topic established the foundation of the course by framing HRM as a strategic partner in governance. Advanced human resource management equips public administrator with the tools uh, to manage people not only as employees but as key actors in nation building and public value creation. Again, advanced human resource management or HRM in public administration represent a fundamental shift in how governments manage people, no, rather than viewing employees merely as administrative units of budget items. Advanced human resource management recognizes human resource as a strategic assets, no? That directly influence governance, outcomes, service quality, and public trust. For MPA students like you, no, understanding the shift is critical because as future public administrator will be expected to manage people in increasingly complex, accountable, and performance-driven environments. Traditional public personnel administration focus heavily on compliance with civil service rules, record keeping, and standardized procedures. While these functions remain important, they are no longer sufficient in today's governance context because advanced human resource management expand this rule by integrating workforce planning, performance management, leadership development, and organizational culture into the broader public management agenda. In public sector, no, HRM operates under unique constraints that differentiate it from private sector HR practices. Public organizations must adhere to merit principle, transparency requirements, political neutrality, and legal accountability, as I mentioned earlier. And these constraints shape how recruitment, promotion, discipline, and compensation are designed and implemented, requiring public administrator to balance flexibility with fairness. No? Advanced human resource in public administration is closely linked not to governance. Public servants are not simply employees, they are agents of the state responsible for implementing laws, policies, and programs that affect citizens' lives. The quality of governance, whether in health, education, social protection, or local services, depends significantly on the competence, no, integrity, and motivation of public employees. No? So a clear example of this connection can be seen in frontline service delivery, in agency issuing licenses, permits, or social assistance. The behavior and capability of frontline employees shape citizen experience. Poorly trained or demotivated staff can lead to delays, errors, and complaints, while well-managed personnel contribute to efficiency, fairness, and public satisfaction. Advanced HRM also emphasizes alignment between human resources and organizational mandates. So, public agencies exist to fulfill specific legal and policy objectives, and HR system must support these goals. For instance, no, an environmental agency must ensure it has staff with technical expertise in environmental assessment, enforcement, and data analysis to carry out its regulatory mandate effectively. One key principle of advanced HRM is strategic alignment. No? This means HR decisions are not made in isolation but are linked to strategic planning, budgeting, and performance management processes. Let's say, for example, if a government prioritizes digital transformation, same as what civil service did, no? Human resource management must focus on recruiting, training, and retaining personnel with digital and analytical skills. Excuse me. Another defining feature of advanced HRM is its focus on competencies rather than merely positions. No? Instead of filing vacancies based solely on job titles, public HRM increasingly emphasize competency framework that define the knowledge, skills, and behaviors required for effective performance. And this approach supports better job matching and professional development. In public administration, leadership development is a critical component of advanced human resource management. Government organizations face frequent leadership transition due to retirement, political change, no? And or sometimes reassignment. So without deliberate leadership development and succession planning, agencies risk losing institutional knowledge and continuity. Let's say, for example, when senior managers retire without successors prepared to assume leadership roles, agencies experience operational disruptions. So, advanced human resource management addresses this risk through leadership pipelines, mentoring programs, and competency-based promotion systems that prepare future leaders in advance. Ethics and integrity are central to public sector human resource management. Advanced human resource management integrates ethical standards into recruitment, performance appraisal, and disciplinary system. Again, public servants must not only be competent, but also uphold values such as impartiality, accountability, and respect for the rule of law. What happened to our former undersecretary ng DPWH, no? So, a realistic example is recruitment transparency. Publishing vacancy announcement using standardized evaluation criteria and documenting selection decisions help prevent favoritism and patronage. And these practices protect both the organization and the public interest, reinforcing trust in government institutions. What will happen right now? Sorry, civil service kung but I think it happened. Hindi naman sa lahat ng agency, no? Prior sa posting ng vacant positions, may ng tao. Na? So, hindi naman lahat ng agency, again. Okay? Disclaimer lang po. Okay, Advanced HRM also recognizes the importance of motivation in public service. Unlike the private sector, government agencies often cannot compete on salary alone. Therefore, HRM must leverage non-monetary motivators such as meaningful work, job security, professional development, recognition, and opportunities for public impact. Public service motivation is a well-documented concept in public administration. Many public employees are driven by a desire to serve society. So, advanced human resource management nurtures this motivation by enforcing the social value of public work and aligning individual rules with broader societal outcomes. Performance management is another pillar of advanced HRM. No? Rather than treating performance appraisal as a routine administrative requirements, modern public HRM uses performance system to clarify expectation, to provide feedback, and support continuous improvement. Minsan kasi may agency na, okay, will you sign? Walang discussion, walang and so on. May mga ganong agency. For instance, a local government unit may link individual performance indicators to service delivery targets, such as processing time for permits or response time for complaints. When performance data is used constructively, it encourages accountability and learning rather than fear or compliance-driven behavior. Advanced human resource also addresses workforce diversity and inclusion. Public institutions serve diverse populations, and their workforce should reflect and understand that diversity. HRM policies must promote equal opportunity, prevent discrimination, and support inclusive workplaces. A practical example is providing reasonable accommodation for employees with disabilities or ensuring gender-sensitive workplace policies. And these practices are not only legal requirements, but also contribute to a more responsive and representative public service. Training and development are essential component of advanced HRM. Public policies, technologies, and societal needs change over time, requiring continuous learning. HRM must ensure that training programs are aligned with actual job requirements and of organizational priorities. Let's say, for example, implementing a new information system without adequate staff training leads to underutilization and resistance. Advanced HRM ensures that training is timely, it must be relevant, and followed by opportunities to apply new skills in practice. Another important dimension is workforce planning. Governments face demographic changes, including aging workforces and talent shortages in specialized fields. Advanced HRM uses data and forecasting to anticipate these trends and plan recruitment, training, and succession accordingly. Without workforce planning, I believe agencies risk sudden shortages that disrupt service delivery. Let's say, for example, mass retirement of technical staff without replacement can delay infrastructure projects or regulatory functions. Advanced human resource management also involves managing change, no? Because public organizations regularly undergo reforms, restructuring, or policy shifts. HRM plays a critical role in helping employee adapt through communication, through training, and support mechanisms. So change management failures often stem from neglecting the human side of reform. When employees are excluded from change processes or lack clarity about new rules, resistance increases. Advanced human resource management mitigates this by engaging employees early and addressing concern transparently. Technology has further transformed public sector HRM. Digital HR systems, analytics, and e-governance tools enhance efficiency and transparency. However, advanced human resource management ensures that technology supports people, not replaces sound judgment and ethical standards. Let's say, for example, automated attendance systems improve accountability, but HR managers must still consider legitimate fieldwork arrangement and avoid rigid applications that undermines morale or productivity. Okay. So, advanced human resource management in public administration is about stewardship. Public administrators are interested with managing human resources, funded by taxpayers and tasked with serving the public good. No, HR decisions therefore carry ethical, social, and political implications beyond organizational boundaries. No, advanced human resource management equips public administrator with strategic, ethical, and managerial tools needed to lead public institutions effectively. So for MPA students, mastering this topic provides a strong foundation for understanding how people management shapes governance outcomes, institutional performance, and public trust in government. So this chapter 1 emphasized that advanced human resource in public administration is fundamentally strategically rather than purely administrative. HRM contributes directly to organizational effectiveness by ensuring that public institutions have capable, ethical, and motivated personnel aligned with their mandates. One important insight was the distinction between traditional personnel management and advanced HRM. Traditional approaches, again, focus on compliance and routine processes, while advanced human resource management prioritizes workforce capability, leadership development, with advanced HRM prioritizes workforce capability, leadership development, and performance outcomes. So again, leadership development programs for senior public officials aim to prepare future leaders for complex governance challenges. This chapter also highlights the role of HRM in promoting ethical governance, transparent recruitment, fair promotion systems, and clear disciplinary procedures help prevent corruption and patronage, strengthening public trust in government institutions. Another key point was the contribution of HRM to service delivery. Agencies such as health departments and local government units rely on well-trained frontline workers to deliver essential services efficiently and compassionately. Another focus in this topic, shown how HRM policy implementation by aligning human resources with strategic priorities. No, without the right people and skills, even well-designed policies fail at the execution stage. Okay, and this also emphasized that advanced HRM requires HR units to collaborate closely with top management, planning offices, and oversight bodies. HR should be involved in strategic planning rather than operating in isolation. Challenges such as rigid rules and limited flexibility were acknowledged. However, this constraint highlight the need for innovative HR practices within the bounds of public accountability. So, this chapter 1 that reinforce that advanced HRM is a leadership responsibility. No, public administrators must view HRM as a strategic function essential to institutional performance, ethical governance, and sustainable public service. Okay, so I think that's it for